Alright, so before we get started with the hands, or sculpting the hands, we need to get another Blender add-on. So, the add-on we need is called Blender Sculpt Tools. So basically go to github.com/madminstrel-blender not forward slash, but dash sculpt tools dash tools, and go to this website here. I'll have it in the description of this video, and click clone or download. We're going to download the zip. I already downloaded it. So we're going to go here, open it up, I'm going to double click it, and then this folder right here, we're going to copy it. And then we're going to go to where we have Blender saved in our program files, Blender Foundation, Blender 2.77, scripts, add-ons, and then just paste it in this folder. Paste. Continue. There we go. So now, when we go to Blender, we're going to save this, and we're going to open this file again. Then we're going to go to User Preferences, Add-ons. So go to your Disabled option here. Scroll down until you see Sculpt Tools UI right here, and then just check it. And then click Save User Settings. And then now you'll see on the side here we have a sculpt option. Now we're not going to use it just yet, but its use is once we're done sculpting the hand, we want to join it with the body, and we can do that with the sculpt option here. So now let's get started with the hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the hands here, and I think they're on a separate layer. That's good. So if your hands are on the same layer as the body, just right click it, hit M, and move them down like that. So now that we're in the second layer, we're going to focus on the hands. So before we start sculpting, we're going to apply, whoopsie daisy, we're going to apply our mirror modifier, so apply it. And also before we start sculpting, the geometry for these hands is actually very ideal for our final mesh. And so we're going to hit Shift D to duplicate these, and we're going to hit M, and we're going to move this to the third layer. Okay, so we're still in this layer, and we select the hands, and let's go to sculpt mode. Now one option that I didn't show you when we were in sculpt mode last time were matte caps. And so over here in our N panel, again, if it's not on, just hit the letter N. If you check the word matte cap, you see the color of our hands changes. It helps us see our sculpted detail a bit better. So I'm going to change it to this one, and we're going to start sculpting. So go to your tools here on the side, scroll down to dynamic topology, click enable dynamic topology. We still had it checked on smooth shading. I'm going to uncheck that for now, and then we're going to change the detail size to 10. Alright, so let's get started. So we're going to try to center the hand here so that we have a good rotation of it. And hold Shift and spacebar to make your screen full screen so that we can strictly focus on the hands and not have all this extra stuff in the way. So that's Shift and spacebar. Alright, so I'm going to hit N to get rid of that. And we're just going to start sculpting the hands. So I'm going to come in here with clay strips. Remember, I'm using a mouse, so you too can use a mouse. You don't need anything fancy for this. Just, work with what you have. If you have a tablet, please use it. But if you don't, don't feel the need to go out and buy one. I'm going to start bringing out some of the details like so. Bring that like so. Remember to hold Shift to smooth. We're just really clicking and dragging over here. We're not doing any fancy techniques or anything. Just, we're layering on top. We're starting with broad details, so we don't need to get too deep into it right now. Starting off with the broad shapes. Okay. Alright. Okay. So look at your own hand for reference. We're not going to be making this too photorealistic, but I am going to make it look like a hand. Okay. Alright, so for the nail, I'm just going to lay out the foundation of that structure. Just laying out the foundation right now. Doesn't need to be perfect. We don't really need reference images for these because we have hands. So, just look at your hand while you're sculpting it, and you can see where some of the details come in. So I'm going to use, so before I keep going, I'm going to use a technique that I used last time. I'm going to change this to flatten, and make sure your strength on flatten is to 0.05, and we're just going to come in here and brush over this. F, turn the size up, lightly glide over it, and then we're going to smooth it, just so that we can add that extra geometry without doing too much extra work. Alright, so let's continue. Just get clay strips. Turn the size down. Just broad shapes. We're not worrying about the little wrinkles in the hands just yet. Just broad shapes. We might not even need to worry about the wrinkles in the hands, but because like I said, it's not a photorealistic character. It's more comic book, anime-ish. No, the title is anime. So we don't have to get too deep into the detail with the hands anyway. Okay. Smooth this area out. Come in here, lay the foundation for the nail. Sweet, there we go. Come over here, do the same thing. Let's go get the polish brush again, or flatten. There used to be a flatten and polish, but now it's just flatten. And just come over. Whoops. I'm zoomed out too much. Just come in, zoom in a little bit, and then just come and smooth that out. It's not so blocky. Some of that blockiness. And we need to do it all the way down here. In fact, let's now shift our focus from the upper part of the hand to the bottom. Because the upper part, it'll be alright for now. Bottom part, we need to do some more work. So, again, look at your own hand for reference. So I'm looking at mine right now, and you should see, I see a crease goes from about right here to all the way to the other side of the hand. So like so. And then there's another crease that comes down like so. It makes a thing like that. And then the palm is actually down here. There we go, like that. And so now let's get clay strips and let's keep going. So we got that. Make this a bit meatier over here. Can add some detail in there. Now we can make some little bumps in here for like the calluses, like so. Make this side a little meatier. Okay. Now I'm gonna Shift C. I'm gonna crease. Let's add crease here, crease here, a crease here, and a crease here. Let's move up. Start adding some geometry down here. Not too much, don't add too much. Add just enough. If you find yourself adding too much, try to turn down the strength of your brush. Not trying to add too much detail at once. We're just trying to get the shape. We already have the basic shape of the hand. We're just further molding it to look slightly realistic, or slightly more realistic than it already is. Okay, got that. Let's come down. Just want to smooth this out. Smooth that out also. Alright, I'm coming down here, add some geometry to the thumb, smooth that out. Let's actually make that some little piece of skin comes from the thumb like that. Alright, let's go back to the flatten brush and flatten some of this out here and smooth it. Flatten all that, smooth it out. Flatten all that. The reason I'm keeping it in solid view right now is because I need to be able to see how the geometry is actually reacting to my brush strokes. So it's always when you're first starting to keep it in solid shading so that you can see exactly what you're doing and how you're affecting the mesh. Because topology in this stage is not important. However, you want to know what's subdivided the most and what isn't, so that you can get a good sense of exactly what it is you're doing. So let's come in, make that. Do the same thing for the pinky, like so. There we go. Alrighty. So again, this is just roughing it out, not adding a bunch of extreme details right now, just getting the shapes. And so let's go back up here, get some of that. Get some of that out the way. Okay. Smooth that out. Smooth that out. Alright. So now let's come in here. Let's add some thickness to this area here. It's real broad strokes. So, there we go. Alright. I didn't quite see that. I didn't smooth this area. Over there. Smooth that out some. The way I work, when I see something that's wrong, I immediately go and try to fix it, and then come back to what I was doing. Okay, that's better. Cause it'll mess with me while I'm working. Okay. Zoom and smooth out this area. Let's get the flatten. Come in here, add some geometry, smooth it all out. Alrighty. Let's flatten that out. Smooth it. Okay. Alrighty. So we got the basic shape going for the hand. We got all the, or most of the details roughed out. And one last thing I want to do is come up in here and smooth out this area. Or first click and drag with the flatten brush. We're going to smooth it out like so. Don't worry about how we're going to connect the hand to the body just yet, because once we're finished with all the detailing and smoothing it out, then I'll show you why we needed that add-on. Okay, there we go. So that's it for this tutorial. We're going to continue this in the next one. So I'll see you guys then.